A very good evening to all of you and welcome to the session. This session is all about how to get 25 plus in English section of IBPS Clerk Prelims and also SBI Clerk Prelims. Let us begin with if you take but most of the time I'll be talking about IBPS Clerk Prelims English section analysis. How many questions? Total 30 questions and 30 marks, and time limit 20 minutes for English, and question types objective, multiple choice questions. Now, when it comes to English language, any competitive exam, especially bank exams, could be IBPS, could be SBI. Prelims, if you take, or English as such, we have three sections. And good evening to all of you. Am I audible? First one is grammar, second one is reading comprehension skill, and the third one is vocabulary. And when you want to get 25 plus, obviously you have to be good at grammar, you have to be good at reading comprehension skill, you have to be good at vocabulary. So today in this session, I'm going to tell each one how many questions, how to get maximum marks. Thank you, Swati. How to get maximum marks. I'm going to talk about that. To begin with, grammar. Grammar, if you take prelims point of view, there's one exam topic. Thanks a lot for responding. And that exam topic is error spotting or error detection. And weightage 4 to 5 questions, 4 to 5 marks. And what are the questions type? Find the error in underlined parts of or grammatically incorrect parts. If they give a sentence and in the sentence you have to find out the error. And to master this particular topic, what to do? And what are the tested areas? They test entire grammar, do remember, but there are specific areas, subject verb agreement, tenses related questions you can expect, prepositions, articles, parallelism, redundancy, but usually they go with mains. Sometimes they may give in prelims. And level is easy to moderate. All of you should remember those who are reasonably good at English and those who read the Hindu paper every day, they can easily answer 20 plus questions. That should not be a problem. So, level is easy to moderate. But something you have to remember often includes no error as an option. Usually, bank exams, fifth option is what? No error. And always remember and respect the fifth option. Usually, we tend to never ignore the fifth option. Coming to second exam topic based on grammar, we have sentence improvement or phrase replacement. And what is the weightage? 3 to 5 questions. And type choose a grammatically correct or improved version. They may give a few words in bold, and either they are not grammatically correct or you have to think of a better version. And here you got to be good at certain things. Tested areas are verb usage, sentence structure, idiomatic usage, phrasal verbs also, and one more dimension that is standard phrases that go with English language. All these areas are tested, and besides all these, always remember whether it is error location or sentence improvement, any exam topic that is based on grammar, two things are important. One, you got to be very good at English grammar rules, 200 grammar rules. But in the past, rules alone would be enough to answer many questions, deal with exam topics based on grammar. But today, rules alone will not help you. You need something more. What is that? Rules plus contextual awareness. This contextual awareness is very important. Without contextual awareness, it won't be possible to answer many questions. Always remember. Very good, Vishnu. I'm going to start. Please wait, Pavani. And coming to easy, these are easy for those who are exposed to the language. All of you remember when it comes to English language, it is not a mother tongue. And how to become good at a particular language, in this context, English, there are two sources. One is you have to listen to English all the time, but that is ruled out in our country because once you go out, Maybe this platform I use English, but once you go out, what is the language? Regional language, obviously. And those who are watching from the north, Hindi. But when what is the other source? There's one more source. What is it? Read. When you read a lot, if you go to the US, you go to the UK, you listen to a lot of English and you can pick up the language, but that is not possible in our country. Coming to the second source we can do, that is read. Then comes the question, you're welcome. Then comes the question, read what? The Hindu every day. Then, when it comes to reading the Hindu, when you read the Hindu every day, what happens? You're exposed to the language, a variety of contexts. In the exam, you get the same context, and there you get an idea about verb usage, sentence structure, sentence patterns, idiomatic usage, phrasal verbs, and standard phrases. Then these topics become easy for you. Now, coming to grammar as such, what is there to learn? How to learn? And if you take grammar, broadly, we have two tracks. You have to learn two things when it comes to grammar. One is concepts, the other one are rules. Concepts you must have learned school level, elaborately. But here you have to learn in brief because they don't ask questions based on concepts. What is important here? Rules are very important. Your focus should be on rules. And if you ask me, sir, how many rules do we have to learn? You have to learn 200 rules. Already, my channel, 200 rules of videos are there. And if you watch, now you have IBPS Clerk exam in the month of October. It will be easy for you to answer many questions based on grammar. But when you take grammar, there are two tracks. 80% questions come from rules and exceptions. In English, we have rules, we have exceptions. And 20% are based on common errors. Both the tracks you got to be good. But today with these two, do remember the background. What you need is contextual awareness. That is a deciding factor. As long as you're good at contextual awareness, once you learn grammar, it should be a cakewalk to answer many questions. Coming to how to learn grammar, what is there to learn? Now, let me tell you, you can master English grammar in 1 or 2 months. That is not a big deal. You may ask, you may ask, sir, how is it possible? I know you can, I'm damn sure you can master in 15 days also, provided you spend the whole day. But how can you master grammar in 1 or 2 months? The reason is grammar is static, first reason. And second reason, grammar syllabus is limited. It is not vast, limited syllabus. Now, coming to syllabus, what is there to learn? Static means not dynamic. The topics don't change. When I was young, I learned the same grammar. Today, I'm teaching the same grammar, no change, static and limited. How many topics are there? Broadly, when you take grammar from competitive exams point of view, there are about 12 topics. And here, uh, two topics they go with effective English. I would say 10 plus 2. And these topics are based on two areas. Any language has two dimensions, important elements. One is words. Meaningful combination of words, letters, we get words. Meaningful combination of words, we get sentences. And there are some exam topics, grammar topics based on words and grammar topics based on sentences. Between the two, this is very difficult, and this is known as core grammar. And if you master core grammar, it is like grammar is in your hands. Let us see the topics that go with words based topics. First one is the parts of speech. In English, all the 8 lakh words are nothing but 8 parts of speech except 3, a and the. These are called articles. Then we have helping verbs, a separate topic we consider. These three topics you have to learn, word based topics. And here you learn a lot of rules. And many rules are based on memory. This section is memory based. You don't have to be that intelligent, but you got to be good at memory. Coming to core grammar, here we have 7 topics. First one and the most important, tenses. I usually tell students, if you master tenses, tenses are the key to English grammar, they are the key to English language. If you master tenses, it is like you have mastered English grammar, you have mastered English language. And because all of the topics depend on tenses knowledge. Next one, question tags. The next one, conditionals. And the next one is voice, active voice, passive voice. And then we have speech, direct and indirect. Sixth one is types of sentences like simple, compound, complex. And the seventh one, concord, harmonious relationship between different grammatical units used in a particular sentence. Now, this is a syllabus. And here, even here, you have to learn rules, core grammar. But these rules are intelligence based, not easy to master. Memory based, topics based on words, and intelligence based topics based on sentences. And this is what I call core grammar. And once you master core grammar, it is easy to deal with the questions in the exam. And when it comes to grammar, how to go about exam point of view to get maximum marks. Usually prelims, I tell students, grammar minimum 5 questions, definite for sure. Sometimes you may get 10 questions, 5 questions, and every prelims exam, bank exam, you have 5 questions based on error location. Very rarely exceptions. And sometimes they add sentence improvement or phrase replacement. 5 plus 5, 10. But to answer these questions, to get maximum, first you have to learn concepts, grammar concepts, you have to learn. Then you have to learn rules. Then you have to practice topic wise questions. Then you have to practice all topics together, shuffled, not in a systematic way, all topics shuffled. Then you have to take mocks regularly. Then you have to, before you take the exam, you have to work on previous year's papers. When you follow these steps, invariably, you will be able to answer almost all the questions based on grammar. But do remember, along with these, simultaneously, there's a parallel track. What is that parallel track? While doing all these things, simultaneously, same time, you have to read the Hindu paper every day. Then it is complementary. You are ready for the exam. Coming to grammar part, some people they try to buy a lot of books. There's no need. I always tell students when one good book, one good institution, one good master, enough to get 80% of the knowledge. And competitive exams, banks and SSC, if you get between both banks and SSC, if you get between 60%, 70%, between 60% and 70%, you'll get the final selection. One good source, 80% enough. You can gain 80% knowledge. Don't go for too many sources. There's a saying in English. What is it? Too many cooks spoil the broth. Standard English. But today we say too many cooks spoil the dinner. And too many sources, not advisable. Now, coming to reading comprehension skill. Answer my question. Exam point of view, what is the most important section? Grammar or reading comprehension skill or vocabulary? Please try to respond. What is important? Final selection point of view. Grammar, reading comprehension skill, vocabulary. Many students think grammar is important. Grammar is no doubt important, it is a foundation. But grammar is important from prelims point of view. Mains point of view, reading comprehension skill is very important, and along with that, vocab is important. Now, coming to reading comprehension skill, here we are talking about passage. Every bank exam prelims, one passage is compulsory, and weightage 7 to 10 questions, that means 7 to 10 marks, and one passage minimum, approximately 300 to 350 words, sometimes more than that. Question types: fact-based, inference questions, synonyms, antonyms, vocabulary in context, tone, theme, title of the passage. All these dimensions you have to have an idea. And what are the topics, prelims point of view or mains point of view? I have created one acronym. What is that acronym? SLEEPS. And these are the areas. Based on these 6 areas, I give 50 topics. And same topics you get in prelims, mains, descriptive English, GD, and interview. Mark my words. They cannot go beyond the 50 topics. They cannot go beyond this acronym. What do the letters stand for? Science and technology, legal, education, economy, polity, socio-cultural problems. Here, passage topics past a trend, banking, finance related, they go with economy and current affairs, social issues, environment, business. These are the areas you have to be good at. But generally, I tell students of these 6 areas, the most important one, number one position goes to economy. Because India is a third world country, developing country, the focus is always on development and inclusive growth. So, any topic related to economy, you have to be good at. Second position goes to science and technology. The growth or development of a country depends on science and technology, and this is the second in position. And the third one goes to socio-cultural problems. Whenever a country is developing, obviously the country gets exposed to socio-cultural problems, environment, women empowerment, child labor, human trafficking, media. All these have been touching, and this is a third. Other areas on and off they keep touching. Level easy to moderate. I always tell students from the day one, you should depend on passage, because, and you should allot how much time? 8 minutes out of 20 minutes, you should, that's what I'm telling. You should read the Hindu paper every day. Then you can improve your reading comprehension skill as well as vocab. They go hand in hand, they're inseparable. Out of 20 minutes, you should spend 8 minutes on the passage and 5 minutes to read, 3 minutes to answer. And here, no compromise. What is the reason? You can definitely get out of 8 minutes you spend, then out of 7 or 8 questions, you can get all 7, 8, assured 7 to 8 marks. If at all they give 10 questions, all the 10 you can get. That's why you should not. First reason. Second reason, why should you depend on a passage? Prelims only one passage. Mains is all about passages, reading comprehension skill. They may give 2 passages, 3 passages. You got to be extremely good at dealing with reading comprehension skill and different types of passages. Prelims level, you're good, then mains becomes easy. But prelims level, from day one, you don't focus on passage, it is going to be very difficult to deal with mains. Always remember. Tip: what is a tip? Focus on skimming, scanning, and understanding context based vocabulary. What is skimming? When you read the passage, give a quick look what it is about to get an idea. Then go to the questions, read the questions focusing on key words. Then you have to go for scanning. Scanning means read the passage meticulously, slowly, analytically, keeping the keywords in mind, and try to understand the meanings of words based on the context, because they ask questions. Next, what comes under reading comprehension skill? Cloze test. Weightage 5 to 7 questions. Appears if based on the trend every alternate year. And what is this cloze test? A short passage with 5 blanks. They take a passage and they remove 5 words. That means you get 5 blanks, and each blank they give 5 options. You have to choose the appropriate word. And here you got to be good at grammar, vocabulary, and also the most important, contextual awareness. But closed test is all about collocations. How many of you know the meaning of the word collocations? Collocations means word combinations. English is a combinational language. And when you read the newspaper, you get exposed to all those combinations or collocations. And you have to be good at grammar, vocab, and contextual awareness, word combinations, and also lexical terms. Every topic in English takes specific words. Those are known as lexical terms, are words related to that particular topic. And type of clause, vocab based, they may ask questions, contextual fillers, grammar based, tense, articles, connectors, all these. Usually moderate, should not be that difficult. Sometimes replaced by fillers or word usage. If they don't give close test, then they may use fillers or word usage. Next, this is a tough one, para jumbles, sentence rearrangement, scrambled sentences also you can consider. 4 to 5 questions, not asked every year. They keep changing. And what are you supposed to do here? Rearrange your jumbled sentences into a coherent paragraph. When I take regular classes, I give tips. And when you follow those tips, you can easily get the first sentence. 1 mark is assured. And here the level is moderate because it is prelims. And how to deal with simple tips. But usually I give many tips. Look for connectors, time references, pronouns to get the correct order. How to improve reading comprehension skill? Who is this Moni? Now you have to listen. I always recommend, I tell students, strongly recommend from day one when you start your preparation for competitive exams, banks and SSC, you got to focus on reading comprehension skill. How to become? There's only one way. You have to read the Hindu every day. You have to cultivate one important habit. What is that habit? A reading habit. And when you read the Hindu paper, how to read? First, you read the headlines, the front page especially. And when you go to different pages, important articles, you read the headlines. But every day you have to read one editorial. And if you take the editorial page, you have 2 editorials here, not lengthy ones. You have the main editorial. Banks and SSC, you don't have to read that one. Sometimes you have articles here, sometimes an important letters here, sometimes important article, not required. But one editorial, short editorial, you have to read, and that should be related to sleeps. Otherwise, you don't have to. And when you read the Hindu paper, to become good at reading comprehension skill, and this goes with vocab as well, you have to maintain one notebook, 3 pages every day, or 3 separate notebooks. Each notebook you have to name. First one, you have to name it word bank. In that, you have to write the new words and you have to write the word profiles, all that. Second, you have to name it effective English bank. Third notebook is very important. You have to name it knowledge bank. Knowledge bank, you have to write all the important articles, editorials in your own sentences in brief. That habit will help in the long run because same topics you get in the exam, once you write, you have clarity here. Then you can deal with the questions effortlessly. And coming to reading comprehension, the Hindu, many students they try to read, but they find it very difficult for 2 reasons. One reason, when they try to read and understand the editorial, they don't have the background info, so they can't understand. Second, they come across many words, new words, meanings of which they are not aware of, and they have to refer the dictionary 10 to 15 times, and that becomes a little irritating. But mark my words, I always tell students all things are difficult All things are difficult before they are easy. What do you understand? That's what I'm going to tell. Please wait. All things are difficult before they are easy. Means initially everything is difficult. The very first day you cannot understand the Hindu paper, but you should have a positive attitude. You should have patience. Continue reading. Maybe first day 5% you understand. After 1 week you can understand 10%. After 1 month 25%. It is progressive. First day you cannot, but slowly it goes up. You have to have that patience. Now coming to vocab. Vocab also very important. Vocabulary. And what are the exam topics? Fill in the blanks. Exactly, Vishnu, very good. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Wonderful. 3 to 5 questions. Questions type single or double blanks, vocab based, grammar based, and also contextual awareness. Very important. And coming to tested areas, collocations, contextual word usage. And sometimes grammar knowledge also helps. But I don't advise grammar approach. When you read a lot, you can easily choose the appropriate word. Easy. Often vocabulary based with options that look similar in meaning. There you got to be careful. Sometimes what happens, they give two synonyms, but one may go with everyday English, the other one may go with effective English. Always choose the one that goes with effective English. That should be the approach. And another exam topic nowadays, it has become popular word usage, word swap. So swap means exchange. 3 to 5 questions, gaining popularity. And type identify correct usage of a word in a sentence. Because English has English words, they have multiple meanings, and you got to know the grammar part. Only then you can swap the correct words to make a grammatically meaningful sentence. Level moderate. And how to improve vocabulary? Someone asked. When you read the Hindu, the best source, the Hindu. What is the reason? In English, we have 8 lakh words. English people know only 20,000. An intellectual knows 40,000, 40 to 50,000 on the higher side. But exam point of view, you have to learn 10,000 effective words. Then comes the question, which 10,000 and what is the source? The Hindu. And from where? Again, from headlines and editorials. Editorial vocabulary is very important. And when you learn every day, same words you get in the exam. Mark my words. And I told you to enrich your word power. How to improve vocabulary, how to enrich word power. A few approaches are there. First one, learn from the context, the best approach. When you read the editorial, there is a context and try to read from that. Second one, learn with the help with the help of word profiles. Native speakers use flashcards for word profiles. What is this word profile? Every word you have to write the part of speech, meaning. Usually people stop here. They don't even bother to look at the part of speech. They write, they know the meaning, they stop. But that is of no use from competitive exams point of view. Part of speech, meaning, examples. These are like level one, lower level. But exam point of view, what is important? Then you have to know word forms. In English, every word has noun form, verb form, adjective form, adverbial form. And then you have to learn word combinations, very important. Then word usage. It is there, please wait, it may get delayed. Word usage and synonyms, antonyms. This is another approach. And the next approach is you have to learn with the help of word maps. Take a theme like religion, write all the words related to religion, and that is known as a word map. That is also very useful. And you have to revise a lot. What are the trends 2022-23? Cloze tests were less frequent and often replaced with word usage, word swap, or double fillers. Reading comprehension is a fixed component with increasing focus on vocabulary and context. Passage is a must. Error detection also, every time they give 5 questions based on error detection, continues to appear every year, typically testing basic grammar rules plus contextual awareness. Overall, what are the skills tested? Grammar, vocabulary, context based, comprehension and inference, sentence construction and logic, and time management under pressure. When you focus and prepare this way, each section, all whatever goes with grammar plus the Hindu, perfect combination, you can get 25 plus. That should not be a problem. I wish you guys all the best, and do remember, same approach goes with SBI Clerk also. Thanks for being with me till the fag end of the session, and do remember to subscribe.